Hello guys, welcome to this video tutorial, and today we are going to be talking about how you can make money from user generated content. So first of all, what do we mean by user generated content? So these are contents that you find on social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and also on forums like Nairaland, Quora, and some other platforms like that. So user generated content are not copyrighted. So it means they are available for you to use for free without any form of attribution. Now, there are several companies, several brands that make money off user-generated content. And one of the very first ways you can make money from it is by creating a news website. So if you check some of the best websites where you find latest news in Nigeria these days, you discover that most of their content now comes from social media platforms. So they aggregate content that people may find interesting on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and publish them on their news websites, adding some more context to it, or sometimes not even adding any extra thing. This is the homepage of instablogniger.com, and I'm just going to give you some examples. So this is a story of Gedoni and his wife Kathy, and the headline goes thus: "I'll stick to him," reality TV star Kathy vows after her husband Gedoni shaved off his beard. Now I'm going to click on this link so you see exactly what I'm talking about. Alright, so the situation here isn't that a correspondent or a reporter went into the house of Gedoni and Kathy and saw what was happening, heard their conversation. That was not what happened. Now from the screenshots you can see here, you can see that this was gotten from Gedoni's Instagram account, but it has been published as a news item, and people will go to Google and they will search Gedoni shaves off his beard. Then the next thing you see is Instablog Niger as the #1 result on Google search results page, and people click on it, the traffic goes there. This happens because all of these social media platforms don't get their content indexed by Google, but people are not going to go to Facebook or Instagram to search Gedoni shaves off his beard. They will go to Google, and so whoever has that content indexed on their site will get the traffic. And once you have the traffic, you can monetize the traffic in different ways, either by Google AdSense or any other form of display advertisement or direct adverts. So if you check here on this right bar, you can see a banner that says advertise here, and that is one of the ways Instablog Niger they are monetizing this website. So they sell direct ad space to whoever wants the space. So that is one example. I'm going to go over now to this other link. This is legit.ng. Legit.ng is one of the highest websites in terms of traffic. They get a lot of traffic for their news. And if you take a cursory look at all of these news items, you'll also notice that they are sourced from social media platforms. For instance, this story of the jollof rice, the guys that sell jollof rice in the United Kingdom, it was gotten from Twitter. So it's just a Twitter user that posted that picture, and several news companies took it off the Twitter account, though crediting the guy, but they got the traffic for it and they are making money off it. And of course, there is no crime in doing that, because when you put out your content on any of the social media platform, there is an agreement. Immediately you created an account with them, there's an agreement you had that the content now has been transferred to the social media platforms, and so they have rights to an extent to do some things with the content, though there is still an extent where intellectual property comes in play. For instance, if someone is quoting your paragraphs, quoting some things you said, they have to mention that this was said by social person. So that is the extent at which it can go. But when they take your pictures and they say they are reporting, so when it comes to news reporting, the rule of intellectual property is different. So if you think that Legit and Instablog Naija are just entertainment news companies and they are not serious, what would you say of Channels Television that has won the 10 times, in fact, more than 10 times best TV station of the year in Nigeria? This is a content on their website, which you can see on Facebook right now. This is a video of Asha trying to speak pidgin English, so Nigerian pidgin English, and so it sounds hilarious, and Channels Television is reporting it. You see, so several content like that, I think this is gotten from Zoom. Several content like that, so if you check through their page, you discover that they were found from the social media, sometimes social media posts or even comments, because some celebrities or influencers air their opinions on, okay, look at this. For example, this is Femi Otedola reacts to Mr. Easy's Temi's engagement. Oh, so how was this reaction gotten? Were they in Femi Otedola's house? No. So it's just his reaction on social media. So it could be his comments. Yeah, it could be his comments maybe on a post on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, and they make a news item out of it. And as you can see, this already has 699 likes, 28 comments, 7 shares. So they are getting the traffic off this content. So if you check more and more, you find similar content to that, and that means you can as well create your own website that aggregates news from user-generated content. So since all these news websites are already doing something like this, you could create a niche for yourself. For instance, you might decide to aggregate news about Nollywood actors, so their personal lives, their day-to-day activities, whatever you can snip out of the social media space, you gather them, and people know that whenever they come to your website, they find any gist relating to Nollywood actors on your site. Of course, there are some websites that are already existing in that aspect. You could do that of politicians, anything that you can think of, and you will get your traffic off it. So the next way you can make money from user-generated content is similar to the one I said earlier, which is having a news website. But instead of having text forms and image forms as your news item, you can have videos. And that is what a lot of people have successfully done on YouTube and other video streaming platforms to create a stream of income for themselves. So they are like, alright, so if you do a simple search of celebrity news, this keyword celebrity news on YouTube, you would notice some contents, and all of these contents are just news reporting in video format. Right, so I'm going to add Nigeria to this keyword, so celebrity news Nigeria. And this is what we have. So what these people do is to get some content from the handles of different celebrities, dig out their history, get people that are close to them and find out some personal information about them, make videos about them, and get a lot of views. So these are some channels. This is Naija Gist, this is Key TV. Small. Okay, so that is just how it works. You snip content off social media platforms, you make videos about them, and you get them on your YouTube channel. But of course, you have to be careful with that, because some celebrities may come for you if the content you're putting out is defaming their character and they are not cool with it. Because sometimes when you take screenshots of a post on Instagram or Facebook, you put it up on YouTube, it's likely that the person that made the post in the first place goes back to delete that content if he or she is not comfortable with it. But you making a video of it, you have immortalized it, except you delete it off your YouTube platform. So you have to tread with caution while doing that. But there are several people that are doing that and they've gotten many subscribers on their channels and they've been able to monetize their channels and made money from it. Alright, so the next way you can make money from user-generated content is by owning a job website. Jobs are not copyrighted because the owners of the vacancies want the vacancies to have as much publicity as possible. So they are not contents that are restricted. So the more people get to see the vacancies, the earlier they get their roles filled. And that is why jobs are available for free for you to copy. There are many Nigerian websites that do have a lot of jobs on their websites and they get traffic from those jobs. An example of such website is Hot Nigerian Jobs. So what they do is to aggregate vacancies on daily basis. And of course, all of these vacancies can be found on LinkedIn. Several of them are found on LinkedIn. Sometimes it can be gotten from the company's websites on their career or job page. And sometimes, maybe a few times, they get candidates that come to them directly to advertise. But a bulk of the jobs they get are available for free online. And most of the job websites copy from each other, yet none of them can claim copyrights, can have a copyright lawsuit because jobs are not copyrighted. So you can have your own website that does something similar. The only thing is there's already a stiff competition in the job space. So it is advised that you create a niche. For instance, you can decide to publish job vacancies for a particular job role, let's say accountant or graphic designers or content writers or something of that nature. Yeah, so that is one thing you can do. The next one is also similar to this, and that is scholarships. Scholarships are also not copyrighted, and you can get as many of them as you want from different sources every day. Publish them on your website. So all you need to do is just some basic SEO activities to make sure your content gets indexed on the search engine result pages and you watch the traffic come. The only caveat to this is if you want to have Google AdSense approval on your website, you don't start up with posting the jobs directly before applying for the AdSense. So you should have some long form content first of all. Yeah, maybe a 2,000 word blog post, about 10 of it, you have them on your site, you get the Google AdSense approval. Then when you're done with the approval, then you can start publishing your jobs. But if you publish your jobs first before getting the approval, Google might flag you for plagiarism and you will never get the approval. But once you have gotten the approval and you begin to post the jobs, they are not going to cut you off the AdSense program, since what you're posting is not the copyrighted content. But Google wants you to have unique, valuable content. That is why you should have blog posts as well. This same principle works for scholarships. And of course, there are hundreds of websites that do that already. So you can decide to have a niche. Maybe you post scholarship for just a particular location, maybe scholarships for Germany, for Canada, or something of that nature. If you can think more about this, you discover some niches that you can create for yourself. The other way with which you can make money from user-generated content is events. So events are similar to jobs and scholarships as well. The venue, the time, the date are not copyrighted. and the owners of the event, if they made the event public, that means they want the event to have public attention, and sometimes they want tickets to be sold. So you could have a site that lists the event and then get people to buy the tickets to the event. And when you get to some extent, you get some authority, so you just go beyond aggregating the content to having people come to your website directly to list their event, especially when the event is a closed door one, when they want to sell tickets for it. An example of the company that does that already is eventbrite.com. So this is an international website. They have events from several parts of the world, and because I'm logging on from Lagos, Nigeria, I'm seeing events in Lagos by default. So these events that are listed on their sites, they are not owned by them, and of course you can copy them because they are not copyrighted, so there's no intellectual property. The only things that might include intellectual properties on this would be the image, maybe the design that accompanies the events advertisement. Yeah, so that may have some copyrights on it. But since this is already existing, you can also create a niche and decide to, let's say, you publish events that have to do with the creatives, graphic designers meetup, search engine optimizers meetup, or something of that nature. And of course, meetup.com has something related to that. But the truth is, if you can think, you always discover something new that nobody is doing already. People start new businesses every day, and those businesses thrive. That people will venture into some startups in January 2022, and this is April 2022. Those startups are already blossoming. So there is no excuse that, oh, anything that you can ever think of has been done. And one of the cheapest ways to get content is just this I'm telling you about. User-generated content are free and they can be easily aggregated. The next way with which you can make money from user-generated content is to answer Quora questions. So Quora is a forum, and several people from all over the world go there to ask questions about things that bother them. Now, when you own a website, you could pick some of the topics that people ask questions on often, and you make a good, comprehensive answer to all of those questions. You can choose a particular niche and you answer those questions. In fact, you can gather other people's answers, make a collation, and bring them all together. Make them cohesive, add more things to it. Make sure that you follow the skyscraper technique by Brian Dean. So you write everything possible, you put images, you put videos, because the regular content you find on Quora might just be some text, people that are just trying to help others. That is what you just find there. But you make yours more deliberate, and you can choose a particular niche that you would focus on. Once you do this, you drive traffic to your site, and from traffic you make money. So the next way with which you can make money from user-generated content is by aggregating product reviews. This is a product on Amazon, mini wireless earbuds, Bluetooth, blah blah blah. Alright, so if you scroll down to the bottom of this page, you will find some reviews about these products. Okay, so this is Jerry R, from United States. Great sound even for someone who is hearing impaired. I have historically ordered the Plantronics Bluetooth headset for years. They had the best noise cancelling headset. So several reviews. Now these contents are user generated, and if I click on see all reviews, I'll find more. So you can actually have a website where you gather all of these reviews from Amazon, and choose particular products that you want to copy. Then sometimes you can add your own opinions to them. And when you build this kind of website, the advantages it has is that you've already created a very good system for affiliate marketing. For instance, these products, if you gather the reviews and most of the reviews are good, you sign up for the Amazon affiliate marketing plan and you put a link to the product after your review. So people that have seen what you've written and they see that the item is good, they will click on your URL and you get a commission if they buy the item. Okay, so another example is this choice.com.au. So they also gather reviews, they review several products. Now there are two ways to go about this. The first way is to gather already made comments or reviews that are from other websites. The other way is to create a platform where people come to review several items, either products or other things. So an example of that is Trustpilot. The Trustpilot doesn't just gather reviews. So it's a platform where you can review different things. As you can see on their homepage, they have categories for banks, for travel insurance, car dealers, furniture store, jewelry store, clothing store, and some other stuff. And you can see the recent reviews. So these are honest reviews from random users. They are not influenced. Alright. Another example would be Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, Rotten Tomatoes. So what they do is to review movies. Yeah, so they gather different movies and look at what people have said about them, then create a score. Yeah, so they give each of the movies some scores based on the reviews gathered from different people that have watched the movies. The next way to make money from user-generated content is to create forums. So forums basically run on their own. The only thing that they need input for is probably just moderation. For example, the popular Nairaland forum that is visited by many Nigerians every day is run by content provided by users. So the owner of Nairaland, Shewa, doesn't write everything you find on the platform. People come to create the content. Google indexes the content, and when people search on Google, it directs them based on what content is on them, directs them to Nairaland. And when the traffic comes, money comes to the owner of the website. So these ads you're seeing over here, this is a Google AdSense ad. And aside that, these banners you see here, these are direct ads that are placed here by the respective companies, and they've paid the owner of this website to place them here. So the owner of the website just makes sure that the content align with the guideline that he or she has set for the contents of the forum. Another example of this is Quora that I mentioned earlier. So Quora gets a lot of traffic every day. A lot of people use Quora, but the contents are generated by people. And of course, once you have traffic, there are several ways to monetize your traffic. So the next way I'm going to talk about is the creation of a review website. So this is similar to what I talked about earlier, but this time you are not just looking at creating reviews for products. So you can create reviews for several things, just like you can see on Trustpilot. Apart from products, they review other things like travel insurance, they review things like real estate agents, insurance agency. So you can choose a particular niche and focus on that. You get reviews for just one particular stuff. people come there. Now you are not aggregating. People come to drop their opinions about whatever they have, whatever feeling they have about a particular products or service. So I once saw a website where people come to tell their experiences about scams in Nigeria. Whatever issue they had with a scammer, they come to tell their stories to prevent other people from having the same experience. So that is worthwhile. It helps in keeping others safe, and many people would like to do that. So what you just need to do is to create a platform for them to tell their stories and help the human community. The next way to make money from user-generated content is aggregating gifts. So this is giphy.com, and as you can see, all of these content that you're seeing here don't necessarily belong to giphy.com. So they are aggregated. They are gathered from different sources. Now, so there are some technical law issues, legal issues with this. Some people don't want their content to appear here and things like that. But you can have a website that focuses on a particular niche, and you aggregate gifts in that particular discipline. So when people come to your site, they know they find gifts about some images and some topics or some subjects around a particular discipline. And you have to know that to get index and ranking through Google, you need to add some text, because Google ordinarily does not understand images apart from the alt text, the caption, and some other metadata that you write around. It doesn't understand images and videos. So that is why text is very important. And for you to get started with your aggregation of gift journey, you need to find content that are free from copyrights, right? And that is very easy. If you come to Google and you search gifts, so you switch to these images, you see hundreds and thousands of gifts, but not all of them are available for you to reuse without attribution. But if you come over here to tools and you click on this user rights, you change the option from all to Creative Commons licenses. It will switch to things like this. Now all of the gifts you find in this category are available for use for free. You can use them for free. You can put them on your website without attribution. But you have to also know that other people can use them as well, just the same way you are doing. The only thing is, when you aggregate them and you create a particular niche, people begin to trust you. They know that whatever gift they need concerning a topic, they will definitely find them on your website. So that is one thing you can do. And remember, like I said, you have to put text. You can add some write-up so that Google understands the context of what you have written and is able to rank it appropriately. For instance, you can have gifts around 3D architectural structures. You can have tech 3Ds, and so you can just imagine the number of things that are available under the Creative Commons licenses. That means you can use without attribution, and that is a worth. Alright, the same way you can aggregate gifts, you can as well aggregate videos and images. So now I mean still images, not animated gifs. And there are several websites that do that. For instance, pixabay.com, pixels.com, they have free pictures and free videos that are sourced from different photographers, different models, and they get traffic. So some people, when they are inspired, they make donations, which will go to the photographer, and also some will go to the platform. So depending on what the agreement with the platform is. And the fact that they have a lot of traffic means there's a lot of monetization opportunities for them. But as I said earlier, text is the best of all kind of content. So whatever video you're aggregating or GIFs or images, remember to always add sufficient text. In fact, you can do a review, you can do a description of what is in the video so that Google understands the context and is able to index appropriately. The next user-generated content that you can make money from is Bible verses. So that might sound strange to you, but Bible verses are free. No one owns the copyright to them. So the people search different Bible verses every day concerning a particular subject. For instance, people would search Bible verses on health, Bible verses on COVID-19, Bible verses on cancer, strange things. They may not be sure if they would get an answer, but they just want to try out. Nobody watches what you do on Google, and nobody is going to judge you. So Google is private, it's left to you, and it's a private. So they search different kind of things. Imagine you have a website where you have Bible verses about virtually everything. So you get the traffic for it and you monetize it. And nobody is going to claim that, oh, you're copying my content. So for example, I'm going to search Bible verses on heartbreak. Okay, as you can see from womansday.com, we have 17 Bible verses for a broken heart. Okay, so I'm actually looking for Bible verses about heartbreak in relationship, like a girlfriend or a boyfriend just broke up with you, that kind of stuff. But this doesn't seem to answer the question. And these are things that people would likely search for. So if you can think more about this, you'll get some ideas on what to do. The next user-generated content you can make money from is Google Places. So people visit different places daily and have different experiences, and most times or sometimes they go back to give a review about that place. For instance, I'm going to type restaurants in Ikeja, and okay, I can see Rhapsody's Ikeja, I can see Ocean Baskets Ikeja City Mall, the Orchid Bistro, and you can see that Rhapsody Ikeja has 366 reviews, which aggregated to 4.3 stars. Ocean Basket Ikeja has 404, aggregated to 4.4 stars, and the Orchid Bistro. Now, all of the reviews are user generated, they are owned by nobody. So I'm going to click on this for an example. So this is Rhapsody's Ikeja. I'll scroll down. So these are some reviews. This is a review by Oluwadoyinsolami O. So she puts pictures and she says the food was great, but they need to work on time management. We have to wait for over 30 minutes. This is a honest review. Yeah. Okay, you can see some other ones down here. Osage Omo. Now, all of these reviews are user generated, so you can gather them together on your websites talking about different places. So there is a website that seemed to do something close to that, but not exactly. I think it's hotels.ng. Okay, so they do have some reviews. I can't place it at the moment, but they have some reviews. And of course, there are some other, apart from restaurants, there are other places like barbing salons, hairdressing salons, cinemas, and several other things that you can aggregate reviews for. So the next way you can make money from user-generated content is to aggregate coupon codes. Okay, so there are several websites that do this already outside of Nigeria. Okay, so let me check this site. I think this is already a Nigerian website. I'm not sure if it is, but people look for promo codes, they look for vouchers on a daily basis, and you can have a website that gathers all of these coupon codes in one place so that people can go search. You can have the one for shopping on Jumia, for Konga, different places, free event tickets and some things like that, freebies basically, and you get the traffic. When you get the traffic, you make money from it. The same process applies all the time. The next way to make money from user-generated content is to have a directory website. So what directory websites do is to gather lists of addresses or names of companies or something similar, and there are many of them already. So I'm just going to give you an example right away. So these are examples of websites that have directories, like directory websites that have lists of different things, and the content are user generated. They are free, they are not copyrighted content. So though these kind of websites are no longer as many as they used to be because of Google Places and some other Google features, but they still get their own fair share of traffic. You can create a niche, a different niche that is different from the regular places that Google has. You can create something different entirely. You get your traffic and you make money from it. This is another example. It has finelive.com or finelive.com. It has lists for accommodations, for sports, transportation, recreation, agriculture, health, shopping, government, and some other categories. So the next way you can make money from user-generated content is by owning a game review website. So a lot of people like to play games, and when you have a platform where they can discuss about their favorite games, talk about how good they are, that would be an easy way for you to generate user content and gain traffic. This also will work for movies. You can have a website where people come to review Nigerian movies, because there are other platforms already that review foreign movies, but there's hardly any website, a Nigerian website, where Nollywood movies are being talked about. So you can do something of that nature. Next way you can make money from user-generated content is by collating proverbs. Proverbs are owned not by one single person. They are at best attributed to a tribe, to a language, or to a people, but no single person claims the intellectual property right over a particular proverb. So I have personally made some money from this. I have a collection of proverbs that I have sold as a book on Amazon. You can have a website that does something like that, and you get your traffic. The other way you can make money from user-generated content is by collecting tales and stories. Okay, so tales and stories too are generic. Sometimes you find a story told by a Hausa person, by an Igbo person, or a Yoruba person. The stories just go that way. They are not owned by a particular person. So you can gather a lot of all these tales, put them on the site so people can come to read. You can even gather them based on different tribes. These are Hausa tales, Yoruba tales, Igbo tales, and stuff like that, and you get your traffic. The last way to make money from user-generated content is to gather riddles. So children love riddles, and riddles are evergreen. You don't get to know every one of them. Yeah, so I actually have a website that does that. It's like a game. So the riddles come to you as questions, and you answer them, and you see what your score is. So you can think about it and see what you can make out of it. Riddles are as well free. They are not copyrighted. Of course, By the time you see things that are already existing on the internet concerning radios, you'll get more ideas on what exactly you can do with them. Thank you so much for joining me on this course. My name is Michael Adibuki.